folk in the studio here. Tommy has been around the Ruston Community Men's Shed ever since a lady by the name of Beulah Laster said, "Tommy, I got this idea for a men's shed," and that happened, what, 5 years ago? 6 years ago?
4.25.
4.25.
Because the first time she made the announcement on the radio, actually on the newspaper, I didn't go.
You didn't go?
I didn't go. But somewhere around the 1st of September, I went, and here we are.
Yeah, 4th anniversary is going to be this coming Saturday at the Ruston Community Men's Shed in their second location, 2782 Farmerville Highway, and you're going to be celebrating the 4th annual open house. So when you first heard about this concept called a men's shed, what were your thoughts? And now now it's a whole different thing from what you probably thought it was back then.
Well, I heard about it in February when she did the newspaper article. And I said, well, I might go. I think there 4 people went, but I wasn't one of them. And I happened to go see her September, and she had it pretty close to ready.
Right.
And so we opened in November.
The Community Men's Shed is a concept that's a global concept. And to me, best as I could tell, because she educated me, it's an organic growth of men coming together. And it's not just exclusively men. Let's get that out of the way, because you have women out there, all ages, stages, phases, races, that when you're coming together, working shoulder to shoulder, you're creating something. And matter of fact, not just sitting idly by in quote-unquote retirement.
That's correct. We encourage people to come and work on projects. We help them, but we encourage them to come, and that really is a criteria that we use on a regular basis to decide what to do.
Right.
It's whether they're willing to come and to work on it. And again, all ages, all sexes, all races, we don't care.
Right. And one thing too, and I know exactly, because I'm one of these guys that my father was gifted in creating. I'm not. I can do something with a nail here, maybe a screw there, and some duct tape. And so I can't go out there and say, Tommy and Ray and a team from the men's shed, can you make me a porch swing? No, Rick, but we'll help you make one. And so that's a neat concept.
That is correct. That's the way we operate. That's the way we determine our projects.
Right. However, I do want to throw this out, and a tip of the Q, or a Q tip to you and the Men's Shed, that you have made some projects for some nonprofit organizations, such as bunk beds, which I thought was really neat. Do you want to touch on that? Bunk beds, were they for the foster children?
They were for the homeless, I guess, as well as ladies that needed a bed. We occasionally build community projects ourselves. Ray, Dean, John, a few others, that depending on the length of the project. We also sell some of the things that we build for our sustenance, if you will, to try to keep us open.
Well, everything has a cost, and you're a nonprofit organization, and so membership to become part of the Community Men's Shed is available for the whosoever's out there, but at the same time, building things for sale, such as the flower beds, right?
Correct.
To help sustain, because you got to pay rent, you got to pay electric, got to pay those things.
That's correct. We do now. We didn't before.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, I know. Right. The best laid plans. And by the way, kudos to Beulah, kudos to Doug Postel, because at that time he was with the Louisiana Delta Community College and said, I got a place you could all set up, and boom. So it was really neat.
That's right. We were, for 2 years, the first 2 years, we were rent-free, utility-free. We've changed that now that we had to move because they rebuilt the facility over there.
Right. 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. this coming Saturday. We encourage folks to stop out at the Ruston Community Men's Shed, which is on Farmerville Highway, behind, what's the name of the restaurant?
Landry's.
Oh, it's back to
Landry's. I don't know the current name, but that's what they do.
That food place out there.
Yeah.
But you're go ahead.
And next to Graham's
storage.
RV storage.
Gotcha. All right, so it's an opportunity for folks to come, ask questions, take a tour.
Yes.
And
we'll have some light refreshments, but it's tours. It's come see the friendly atmosphere.
Well, if I were to ask you the most unique thing built by one of the shedders, what would come to your mind? Because there's some pretty intricate, somebody, Dr. McGee. He gets out there and he's like creating stuff out.
He's built a table and he's built boxes that I haven't seen the finished product, but the beginning was interesting and it took a lot of work.
And you have some really extensive tools, and you have people with knowledge such as yourself and Ray and others out there that I don't want to step up to a skill saw because I'm not trained, but you can train me.
That's the most dangerous tool we have. The rest of them are comparatively safe, but we are very conscious of that, and we've been very lucky, I guess you'd call it. Maybe careful is a better word.
Sure.
Because over the years, we've had no table saw access. We do have a table saw that stops immediately. You get a small paper cut at the most.
Right.
But we try not to test it.
That reminds me, one time I was on a radio show, and it was the Louisiana State Police. They were having a safety expo, and the state trooper, I forgot his name right now, he says, "Hey, Rick, you want to get tased?" I'm like, "No, why would I want to get tased?" Well, because a lot of DJs like that. I said, "Well, I'm past that phase to get tased, so
No.
I don't want to test your skill saw. I'll test your skills." But
We do have safety courses on
Sure.
a regular basis. We have
Sure.
the fire department come out and tell us the things that are relative to us. They also check our fire extinguishers and check us out. So we try to be safe.
you know, one of the operative word on this here, Tommy, is community.
Yes.
And let's get this message clear. All ages, phases, stages, races, sexes, and I guess what encourages me, mentoring somebody doesn't necessarily mean somebody further down the interstate of life, such as myself. You, Tommy, can mentor me because I'm not skilled in these. But at the same time, it is really a great opportunity for the older to train up and raise up the younger.
That is correct.
So
Now, it started as older people, older men, gathering together, a lot of them in Australia, Europe, Britain, that type of thing. They're fairly new in the United States, I guess 17, 16, 2016 was
Right.
the first one.
Right.
There are some 20 some odd now. We do belong to the U.S. Men's Shed, try to help them out as best we can.
Well, and was Ruston like the third in the United States, as best I can remember from my fourth one from conversations with Beulah. So, and a neat tribute to her picture's up there, and in a, dare I say, a divine way. I mean, she passed away on the eve of what, the
First anniversary.
The very first anniversary. Beulah says, "My work is done," and she's gone, and left behind this legacy.
Well, that's how I got the job. Is that I was doing the details,
Right.
And then Beulah passed away, and whoops. But she needed the time.
Sure.
She was ailing. Her health was not good, but yet she was there almost every day, even when we weren't open, and she was really enjoying herself. And that's a testament to what we do.
Sure enough, the legacy lives on. So, folks, I encourage you this coming Saturday, take time out from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and visit the 4th open house for the Ruston Community Men's Shed. Tommy, I appreciate all you do, not only for that, but for the community as well.
Well, I appreciate that.
You're welcome. So we're streamed out there. You know what to do. Help us help more. Put it out there and push it as far as your social media goes as we get back to more Real Country here on Q 94.1.